Welcome back to Inside Politics. Many thanks for staying with us. Time now to hear what you have to say. We're giving you a chance to have the final say on what we are discussing and debating today. We've talked about the battle for Nairobi with the coronation or swearing in of the Deputy Governor, Anne Kananu Mwenda, and all the political debate that it has been eliciting. We have talked about the rotational presidency, the proposal that has been backed by ODM leader Raila Odinga. We also talked about the retired Chief Justice David Maraga's last remarks in his exit interviews. You want to take a look at what you have to say. Let's go to the phone lines now. Let's begin in the county of Kirinyaga and talk to Joshua Mutinda. Joshua, Happy New Year to you. Good to hear from you in this new year. Talk to us in 1 minute only, please.
Happy New Year, Ben.
Yes, Happy New Year to you.
Now, let me start with Justice Maraga's exit. I think Kenyans will live to remember the good work that CJ Maraga did to this nation. Sometimes I looked at him and really sympathized with him because he was heading a judiciary in a country where the government was run or is run by two outlaws, people who have no respect for the rule of law. Just a very quick one. If you look at what has been said about COVID-19 protocols, you see the deputy president, some of the leading leaders in this country, the deputy president holding rallies every day. Today he's in Kericho. Yesterday he was in Bomet. Today the Honorable Raila Odinga is in Embakasi. Honestly, I see where Maraga was coming from, because the law was not made for the common folk, for Wanjiko, for Mwananchi. So he did a good job. The few areas that he probably didn't get right, I think his successor will have to carry on with that. So go home, Maraga. We'll remember you and we miss you. Now to this to this issue of rotational presidency, I don't know which country Sei and Wakili comes from. We all know that the rest of the country, the other 42 or so communities, have this feeling of marginalization, because we know too well, if Ben KITILI's name is fronted to State House today, and Amwangi Mureithi somewhere is fronted to State House today, chances are the Mureithi will take it. And we cannot continue like that. We see the kind of development that has been visited upon the Rift Valley region, thanks to Moi being the president for 24 years. And the Kikuyus have benefited from Kikuyu presidents over the years, to a point that we have actually come up with a perception, and I believe that Kikuyus are better businessmen than other people. It's not because they are, it's because they have gotten the opportunities, the resources that have come to Kikuyu land and Kalenjin over the 60 years are more than what has gone to other regions. So it is high time we entertain this conversation. We cannot hide under the rug. We cannot bury our heads in the sand. The talk of having presidency going to other regions and other communities other than the Kalenjin and Kikuyu is a conversation we need to have. Finally, on Nairobi Manenos, you see, I'm very happy. Whether you call it maybe a subversion of the law or justice, whatever Wakili wants to call it, we cannot, we have just avoided having Nairobi being run by two charlatans. Wanjiro is coming in, Dennis Oyer is coming in, General Badi is doing a good job. Me, personally, as Joshua, I don't care whether there was subversion of law, because I'm done with this law thing, Ben. Let this lady Kananu take over Nairobi and assist General Badi in delivering and giving services to Nairobi people. That is my take, Ben.
Thank you, Joshua. Joshua Mutinda, always shooting from the hip. Many thanks for your call. Somo Kelvin is calling us from the county of Kisii. Kelvin, how are you?
Good, Ben. Happy to see you with your able panelists.
Good to hear from you. Talk to us in 1 minute only. Give us your thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Ben. First, on Nairobi politics. Nairobi is a basket, anything you want to assign.
Yes.
But then the bottom line should be people should respect and uphold the Constitution. That is when, first from Nairobi, things may work out. Right now, Nairobi has the interest of everybody. And I want to propose as a person that Nairobi needs to cease to be a county, because there are so many interests which always have made people of Nairobi suffer. So in the appointment and vetting, quick appointment of Kananu, for sure it has been something which people cannot understand. But then if she is able to serve, and she has a heart of serving, I have no problem. On the rotational presidents, Ben, I think it may not happen right now, maybe 200 years to come in Kenya. But then it is about ideas and ideology. Even if it is a rotational presidency, but people have no heart to serve, then there is nothing will happen. We'll have to have people with ideologies, ideas, and purely meant to serve the public. So on Maraga, very quickly, legacy, Maraga is a pure definition of a book judged out of its cover. Initially, anybody who looks at Maraga could think that this gentleman cannot make very vigorous decisions, but he has proved otherwise. And therefore, these are the kind of the people we need to have who are outside the limelight, but really can make landmarks in this country. So therefore, Maraga has left a legacy and has set a bar too high that whoever is coming may be to outsmart and stand to their cause. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much. Jomo Kelvin, not Somo, my apologies for that, calling us from the county of Kisii. Let's talk to Kemboi Karoli, calling us from the county of Uasin Gishu. Kemboi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Good to hear from you.
Yes, good to hear too. Now, I want to talk about this issue of rotational presidency.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know if we actually can call it rotational presidency because it's impossible to have a rotational presidency. But I want us to accept as Kenyans that we must have a debate on why, as democracy in Kenya, as it is said, why has it only worked for two tribes? Even if we say it's about meritocracy, it's about, the popularity, the majority, why are those aspects working only for two tribes? You see, so it's a debate that we cannot just shelf it and say it is meaningless. Because, you see, we talk about factors that limit national unity in Kenya. We talk about nepotism, we talk about tribalism, we talk about racism, we talk about religious differences. These are the factors that actually are so wrong and so available in our society called Kenya. Now we have even been introduced into a new one called the poor fighting the rich. I don't know, they call it Asla Nation, I don't know. But you see, we are being told to shelf meritocracy in everything that we think. And we create a new concept. We create a concept that works for those who are in power, either to acquire the same power or to keep the same power. For example, I once had a senior politician in Jubilee telling Tuju that we just put you there to create a face of Kenya. You actually don't belong to Jubilee. I mean, that was in essence saying that anybody who is an Kalenjin and an Kikuyu doesn't belong to Jubilee. The moment you are put there was just to create a face of Kenya. It was not meaningful. So you see, people who are outside, people who don't belong to my tribe or the tribe of the Kikuyu, will actually feel excluded. And they always ask themselves, if you tell us that's about merit, it's about voting, why is the same model not working for us? Why is it very hard for a Luo to be a president? Why is it very hard for a Luya to be a president, for example? So it's a debate we must look into and see if we have to agree and say, like somebody proposed the regional balance and say like the western region, the Nyanza region and the coast region, it may work. It may not actually work in terms of tribe because we have so many tribes in Kenya. But if we regionalize it may actually make people feel that we belong to the politics of Kenya. Because even if you assess the Jubilee situation, for example, when they came into power, like our deputy president appointed 8 ministers. None of them came from outside the Kalenjin community. So if you tell us that politics belongs to all of us, then why is it that the person who is in power favors the people from his region alone? So we cannot run away from that debate. It's part of the problems that we have in this country. It's part of the differences that we have in this country. And it is time for us to come together and talk to ourselves and say, let us not have factors of us versus them, rich versus poor, this tribe versus this tribe. Those aspects will kill us. But if we agree to negotiate so many aspects about who we are, those diversities are there. But it can be a source of beauty if we use them in the proper manner. That's my analysis.
Thank you so much, Kemboi. Kemboi Karoli, calling us from the county of Uasin Gishu. Very well said there. Let's cross over now to the county of Kisumu and talk to Gian Wahome. Gian, Happy New Year to you. Good to hear from you. Talk to us.
How are you, Ben? Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Talk to us.
Now, Ben, I hope you're well. I hope the new year is good with you. Now, I want to go to, first of all, I want to react to the issue of the rotational presidency and tell Kenyans that we are a people that elect corrupt politicians, we elect imposters, we elect thieves, and we elect traitors, and eventually complain. And somebody once said, Ben, that people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors, they are not victims, but they are accomplices. This country is not about, the problem is not rotational presidency. The problem, what characters are we employing, or what characters are we electing to our public offices? This issue is not even about tribe. As we talk today, who are the individuals that this country is fronting for the president in 2012? We know the characters. We know the record. Some of them, with their troops, they are accused of mega corruption dealings in Jubilee today, the administration that is sitting today. So there is no way the deputy president of this country can delink himself from the failures of the Jubilee administration. So the problem of this country is not about tribe. And we were in this country, if William Ruto wants to lecture the country about tribalism, we were in this country when a chancellor in Eldoret was appointed, and his troops and his entire tribe brigade decided to even demonstrate. We were in this country when a member of parliament secured a ticket in Turbo, but simply because he was from a different tribe, his troops denied him the opportunity. So nobody can lecture this country about tribe and the presidency. The issue is, whom are we electing in those offices? The same issue in Nairobi. Look at the character of Mike Sonko. We knew the character, and we decided to elect him in that office.
All right, talk to us. I have to point out, it's the same Jubilee administration that you support, Gian.
Yes, yes.
Talk to us about Nairobi very quickly, 30 seconds only.
Ben, unfortunately, Nairobi is a special constituency. And I want to believe, you know very well, Ben, this constituency, in terms of revenue, is very important. As we talk today, Ben, even the appointment or the vetting of Kanani, we all know she is being fronted because she is taking care of interests of a special group. This nation, Nairobi belt is about interest. There are people with different interests in Nairobi.
Right.
And that's why all of a sudden people don't want elections. Even the character, even the new party, the party that the DP is allied to, look at the character that they want to front. It's not about, and that's why I'm telling you, Ben, it's about the people we elect into those
All right.
offices.
Thank you, Gian. Gian Wame calling us from Kisumu. Let's have one final caller now. Rashid Abdallah calling us from Bungoma. Rashid, how are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Thank you for calling in. In 40 seconds only, give us your thoughts on our debates today.
Okay, thank you, Ben KITILI, for... Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm good.
Go ahead. Tell us what you think about this issue of rotational presidency.
Okay, mine, I would like to be specific, and I would like to talk about this thing of rotational president. Yeah, to me, it's actually very wrong for our President Uhuru Kenyatta to tell Kenyans that this time round it's time for other tribes. And, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it has brought a big challenge to other tribes, to Kalenjin and Kikuyu, whereby...
All right, your caller, I'm sorry, Rashid, your phone line is not very clear. We'll try to talk to you another time. Thank you for calling in. Let's have one final caller, Engineer Kevin Okech, calling us from Migori. Engineer, how are you? Good, Happy New Year to you. All right, we seem to have lost Engineer there. Thank you for your calls, for calling in with your views, comments, and questions into Inside Politics today. Let me go to the panelists now for their final comments. Let me begin with you, Javas, in 60 seconds only. Give us your final thoughts.
Well, first, I think I appreciate the sentiments of the callers, and I would say that as we problematize the issue of ethnicity in Kenya's politics, we cannot just politicize, problematize it and leave it there. Of course, there is the aspect of historicization and knowing that, yes, it served the primary interest of the colonial masters. It behooved those who took power after independence to see how to deconstruct some of those pillars that had been erected by the colonial masters for purposes of administrative management of Kenya and for their own self-interests. Today, politicians are furthering the issue of ethnic advancement in Kenya for political self-interest and aggrandizement. It is important then as a people that we must not just be flags to be pushed in a particular direction by politicians, but we can think through. If we agree on the issue of rotational presidency, for example, it will cascade to the county executive issues. That now at the county level, people will start having the debate about governors being rotational amongst either communities or tribes within the county or clans within the county. And that will not actually be progressive. We will be retrogressing. We are not going back to the Stone Age period. The issue about Nairobi County and Ankananu, I would say that, and I would cling on to provisions of Article 182 sub-Article 4.
All right.
That if at all a governor and a deputy are not in office and a speaker ascends in office to office in acting capacity and IBC gazettes a by-election for Nairobi County, we must not interpret the law backwards and have it work or act backwards. It must be progressive.
Thank you so much. Your 60 seconds are up. In 1 minute only, Kipchumba Karori, give us your final thoughts.
Yes, Ben, I think my final thoughts will be to address the issue of the mutadu mentality from the people who feel like they own the part of democracy. First of all, we need to begin and call to caution this issue of the BBI proponents bringing very huge democracy and political principles and leaving them hanging. They brought the issue of winner take it all, they left us on the highway. They have now resorted to the issue of rotational presidency. They just explained to us the top. They don't cascade down that if today we rotate the presidency, what will we do in a place that, in a world that is cosmopolitan? Will we rotate the MCA? If we rotate the presidency, what do we do to landowners and landlords who own lands in millions of acreage? Will we rotate the ownership? The millions of landowners who have made everybody in this country a slum dweller, what happens to those landlords? Will we go there? So we need to make sure that even as we question some of these principles, we should not just be left with principalities, but let them give us the full model. This top-bottom kind of sorting out Kenyan problems will not help us. It is just a way of, it is rich in creating political rhetoric and discourse, but it doesn't trickle down to the problems afflicting on Kenyans. And on the issue of Ankananu, that circus is unconstitutional. It is ousting a well-established constitution, and we must, as Kenyans, not just remain on radio talk shows talking about it. We must move out, and we must now organize, as Meguna will say, organize and even create a demonstration in town to say that we are not satisfied with how the handlers and the dwellers of the city are trying to reassert Article 1. Sovereign power belongs to the people. Sovereign power does not reside with cartels. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Ishmael Nyaribo, 60 seconds only. Your final thoughts, please.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. My view is very simple. The law must work. If the law is not working, two things must happen. Either it must be changed, or the people must be made to understand what the law is saying so that they can practicalize what the law says in their lives. Therefore, in terms of Nairobi, in terms of the judiciary, in terms of whatever happens in this country, law must work. We should not allow experts and lawyers to dance around a point just for the sake of economically empowering them and making the rest of the country to lose. In terms of the way forward, therefore, we have all agreed that it is the character, the type of people we vote into office that really matters. Therefore, we are now in a dispensation where we are trying to say, let us all be included in positions of leadership. Let us be inclusive in our laws. Therefore, if you talk about the BBI being the wrong document, I want to see another proposal that is best. As far as I'm concerned, I really want to thank the leadership for bringing up a proposal which, if it goes through, will actually change the way we run our affairs in the country. I will still implore on every citizen to go read the document called the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill. Other than making generalized observations, let's go and read it correctly. When you talk about the ombudsman, there is ombudsman in the judiciary already, but it is now being proposed that the ombudsman becomes independent office which can receive complaints like those ones of Justice Mrima probably swore in governor improperly. So we should allow the present development of changing the laws to take shape and actually take effect. Yes.
Thank you, Bwana Wakili. Cherotich, your final thoughts, please.
Thank you, Ben. While our children learn under trees, while we continue to grapple with the cost of electricity, of water, while we are dealing with pandemic poverty and a tax regime that has been slapped on us again in the middle of the COVID pandemic, I want Kenyans to really, really understand that the one and only biggest threat we face right now is disobedience to the Constitution, of the Constitution of this country by the political class. This country is under threat because the Constitution is not being respected. This country is under threat because we do not have electoral justice. And every single thing that you're hearing, seeing, all the machinations, the chaos, talk about tribalism, the rushed swearing in of the deputy governor, and so on and so forth, stems back to the Constitution of Kenya and the fact that we have chosen to disobey it. And it's time for Kenyans to separate the wheat from the chaff, to understand that the time is soon coming when we have an opportunity to rise up and select the leaders who will actually advance our rights, not their rights. We have a lame duck president. We have a Raila Odinga, William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta. Betrayals are going to float across the city, fast, left, right, and center, especially after the budget is read. We are seeing IEBC hurtling down a path, pushing us towards a referendum when we cannot afford it as a country. We're 10 trillion in debt. We are facing a crisis, and Kenyans, we have to rise up and not get lost in the little weeds of what is happening and protect and defend the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cherotich Sei, humanitarian development consultant, Javas Bigombo, political analyst, lawyer and political strategist, Kipchumba Karori, lawyer, Ishmael Nyaribo. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me this Sunday, helping us all dissect the biggest political and policy issues in the Republic, as we always do here. Be sure to join us every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm Ben KITILI. Bye for now.